So, anyway, this is all unrehearsed, by the way, which is making our deputy director, Rob Forden, very, very nervous because we have all sorts of cameras here. And if I'm let loose, I might endanger our policies. So anyway, be careful, members of the media. What I say, I'm not very serious about. And if you do publish anything that I do say, my name is Wu Jiaoxie. My name is Joseph Wu, okay? See, that's what Joseph gets for not coming tonight. He gets blamed for everything. President Tsai, distinguished guests, it's my pleasure to be with you here this evening. This is my third CNN Fun. I want to especially thank Albert Chang for his fine leadership of AmCham. We're all so impressed by your leadership. We've seen you on Bloomberg. We've seen you just be a master of your leadership role. I ask you, Albert, maybe have you ever thought about abolishing term limits? And maybe you could be like the Juicy for life. You could be... All right, think about it. Think about it. We can also, thank you very much. We can also refer to you later on as the dear leader, if you wish. As many of you know, this is my last CNN Fun.
Oh.
Actually, there's someone applauding. Thank you very much. I don't feel about as popular as Taiwan's labor law, but anyway. So I've been here 3 years now. My colleagues have heard me tell this story before. I've told this story to death, so please excuse me, colleagues. But I remember 3 years ago when I was informed that I'd be coming to Taipei, when we learned that my wife, Kathy, and I and our family would be coming out. We were beyond thrilled. It was just the most amazing news. And so I was talking to Kathy about it. I asked her, hey, Kathy, in your wildest dreams, did you ever think I'd be going back to Taipei as the director of AIT? And she said, no, but it's mainly because you never appear in my wildest dreams. Okay, thank you very much again. Since arriving in Taiwan, people have asked me a lot of questions. A lot of times they ask me questions on Facebook. The two most common questions are, first, when are you going to finish the new AIT building? And the second most common one is, hey, Moy, why is your Chinese so poor? Right? So on the first question, I can say with great pride that, and you may have seen our video that we released on our Facebook site yesterday, we are going to finish it this summer. Is that amazing? Yeah. Extremely proud. I know what you're saying. You are saying, hey, why are you so happy? You started this building in 2009, and it's now 2018. So I tell them, though, that there is a silver lining. We have been constructing this building project for such a long time that when we finish it, it will be the only building in Taipei that is considered both brand new and a historic relic. And perfect. And my only regret is that I had an opportunity, I did not place a bet with Mayor Ke that we would finish our building before he finished his stadium. The Taipei Dachudan, right? I think I would have won a lot of money with that bet. So the answer to the second question about why my language skills are so poor, I 非常不知道. Okay, enough of that. I do want to take a minute, on a serious note, to look at what we've done collectively, all of us, together. Looking back at the past year and looking back even farther on my 3 years here, I'm grateful for the achievements and spirit of cooperation that exists between the United States and Taiwan. This is a rich relationship that is bolstered by the ongoing ties between the public and private sectors of our two economies. No entity represents that better than AmCham Taipei. AIT as a whole, and I personally am grateful for the close cooperation that we enjoy. I'd like to highlight some developments that have taken place during my time here that I think are important for Taiwan's continued economic growth. First is transparency. Taiwan has put in place a standardized notice and comment period for legislation and regulation that helps businesses and the public participate in the process in a transparent way that leads to better laws that are more predictable. Second, intellectual property rights. Taiwan made the courageous decision this past year to create a patent linkage system that will be beneficial to attracting investment in Taiwan's biopharmaceutical industry. With quick and full implementation, Taiwan could become a leader in the region in this sector. Taiwan is still facing the very difficult challenges of digital piracy and trade secrets protection, but I'm confident that Taiwan can use strong IPR protection as a competitive advantage in this region. Third is reciprocal investment. As Taiwan businesses invest in the United States, U.S. businesses will invest here in a virtuous cycle. I was impressed last year as I attended the Select USA Summit in Washington, D.C., where Taiwan had the second largest delegation in the world. As businesses look around the region and consider where to invest more, it is transparency, stability, fairness, reciprocity, and dynamism that will help keep Taiwan high on the priority list. As you may have seen in our video, when I think of U.S.-Taiwan partnerships, the U.S.-Taiwan relationship, I'm reminded of the words of the Tang poet, Wong. And I think many of you know this is very famous, of course. He said, 欲穷千里目. And you saw our video yesterday, right?
Yeah.
更上一层楼. So we are all working to take the relationship to the next level, and the prospects look very good. And I want to end on a note. As I'm a diplomat, when I say farewell to close companions like you, what I say is, and you can actually help me, you can finish off what I'm about to say, 海内存知己, 天涯若比邻, right? Which essentially means no matter the distance that separates us, we will always be close because you are my friend. And I feel that way for all of you. So, just like last year, I've been up here now on stage for about 5 minutes speaking to you, and I haven't yet done what I was supposed to do, which is introduce our special guest this evening. Deputy Assistant Secretary Alex Wong is my newest good friend from Washington. He joined the State Department's Bureau of East Asian and Pacific Affairs in December last year from Senator Tom Cotton's office. He is responsible for regional affairs and is at the back end of a trip right now that is taking him to, correct me if I'm wrong, Vietnam, Singapore, and Indonesia. Right? We are extremely lucky to have such a super smart and dedicated addition to the State Department, someone who understands the region and is already a friend of Taiwan. Ladies and gentlemen, our newest 帅哥 in the State Department, Alex Wong.
Ken, thank you for that very warm introduction. But before I begin my remarks, I do want to say that the U.S. and Taiwan have been very lucky to have Ken in this role. And before I begin, I think I just want to ask everyone for a round of applause for him and how he strengthened our relationship. President Tsai Ing-wen, National Security Advisor David Lee, Minister Chen Mei-ling, AmCham Chairman Albert Chang, AmCham President William Foreman, and all distinguished guests. Good evening.
Good evening.
Being here at this event is personally gratifying to me because it's a chance to renew some old connections. President Tsai, on the prior occasions that we've met, I've referred to you as Dr. Tsai. And it's an honor for me that this time, on this trip to Taiwan, I can greet you as President Tsai. And it's with great satisfaction that I share the stage with Chairman Albert Chang. As Albert mentioned, many years ago, we were law students together. What he didn't mention was that we were also interns at none other than the U.S. Department of State. We would meet in the basement cafe of the State Department and we'd plot out how we could advance U.S. interests in our careers that hadn't even begun yet. So to be here tonight in Taipei with Albert, talking about how we can strengthen U.S.-Taiwan relations is especially meaningful to me because it completes a certain circle for both of us. But beyond the personal import, this is a truly wonderful event. I am honored and delighted to be here. This gathering really reflects the best of the U.S.-Taiwan relationship. The Society of America and the Society of Taiwan are deeply connected. And that's due in no small part to all of you gathered in this room. We've heard many congratulations tonight on the work that the Chamber and its friends have done in the past year, and those sentiments are richly deserved. But tonight shouldn't just be about what we've done in the past. Tonight should be about looking forward. Indeed, we've done much to deepen the U.S.-Taiwan relationship. But my simple message tonight is this: let's do more. There are a number of very successful people, business people in this room, and if I know anything about successful business people, it's that they abhor uncertainty. That's why American businesses flock to Taiwan, and that's why businesses flourish here. The U.S.-Taiwan relationship is built on a number of certainties. We can be certain that Taiwan's democracy and its resulting development are an example for the entire Indo-Pacific region. We can be certain that the United States, Taiwan, and all of our partners can work together to strengthen the rules-based fabric that binds this region together. And we can be certain that the United States' commitment to the Taiwan people, to their security, and to their democracy has never been stronger. Each of these certainties bears some elaboration. Taiwan's constitutional democracy is indeed an example for the entire Indo-Pacific region. The Taiwan people understand the fundamental truth that people everywhere long to be free, and that constitutional democracy is the best and most moral system of government that humanity has ever devised. They deeply understand this because they've earned it. They've done the hard work of transitioning to democracy, with all the sacrifice and all the compromise that entails. And as a result, they've reaped the rewards. It's no coincidence that Taiwan's democratic flourishing has gone hand in hand with its economic one. If we look at the world today, the governance structures of the most developed and innovative economies are grounded in constitutional rights and democratic values. Where there are strong property rights, you can have borrowing and investment. Where there is the rule of law, you can have contract. Where government is accountable, where corruption is punished, where merit is rewarded, populations choose to invest in their skills and education because they know that will not be wasted. And where the purpose of government is to protect the liberty of the people, you can unleash the creative energies of each individual. Dynamic, broad-based, and sustainable economic growth can never hinge on the whim of a dictator. It can only arise in the stable and certain conditions created under a constitutional government. Taiwan is a clear example of this truth, and Taiwan is an inspiration to the entire Indo-Pacific. As AmCham's recent business climate survey pointed out, U.S. firms are optimistic about opportunities in Taiwan. Many of the largest U.S. technology firms, some of them here tonight, have chosen to make Taiwan central to their hardware-software integration, to their research and development, and to their artificial intelligence innovation plans. U.S. investors of all stripes are intrigued by the opportunities right here in Taiwan. Now, I've said that Taiwan is an example for the entire Indo-Pacific. But I want to make a very important point. For that example to have the most force, for that example to do the most good, Taiwan can no longer be excluded unjustly from international fora. Taiwan has much to share with the world on issues of public health, humanitarian relief, and sustainable development, that it would be hindered from doing so is not only unjust for Taiwan, but unjust for every country and every individual in need who would benefit from Taiwan's contributions. That's why it's the US policy to promote appropriate respect for treatment for Taiwan's role in the world. I can assure you, the United States government and the United States private sector will do their part to ensure that Taiwan's stellar example continues to shine brightly around the world. The second certainty is that the United States, Taiwan, and all of our partners can work together to strengthen the free and open order of the Indo-Pacific. The free and open order has fostered peace and stability and prosperity in the region for the past 70 years. As President Trump said during his historic trip at the end of last year, the United States remains fully committed to strengthening this rules-based system. On the economic front, we do that in two ways. First, we work tirelessly with our partners to set the rules of free, fair, and reciprocal trade, rules that promote open markets and private sector-led economic growth. And second, we take action to enforce those rules. Rules only have meaning if they're respected. Unfortunately, there are actors who fail to give due respect to the obligations they have voluntarily signed up for. When economies, large or small, are able to flout the rules, cheat their trading partners, steal trade secrets, use market-distorting subsidies, protect national champions, force intellectual property transfer, this undermines the integrity of the entire rules-based system, and ultimately, it will undermine the prosperity of the entire region. But the task of promoting the rules-based system is not the United States' alone. Taiwan has an important role to play. The United States has been pleased to note the continuous improvement of Taiwan's legal and regulatory environment. Taiwan's leaders have embraced administrative procedures more in line with international norms. They have protected intellectual property and vigorously prosecuted the theft of trade secrets. They oppose market-distorting subsidies and are focused on forging close economic ties with countries throughout the Indo-Pacific. In particular, the United States welcomes Taiwan's efforts to strengthen ties with countries across the region through its new southbound policy. While Taiwan has been viewed as a gateway to the China market, Taiwan is also emerging as a leading economy of Southeast Asian and South Asian markets. More Taiwan companies are doing business with these markets. Taiwan is increasingly open to tourists from across Asia, and academic exchanges are giving foreign students a taste of Taiwan's top-notch educational system. Taiwan is set to grow closer to these countries in a way that will lay the foundation for even more Taiwan contributions to global prosperity and cooperation. The United States supports this effort because Taiwan's contribution to a network of cross-cutting linkages will strengthen the rules-based fabric of this region and ensure its free and open nature. The final thing I'm certain of is the United States' support for Taiwan. As reflected in the U.S. national security strategy, we wish to strengthen our ties with the Taiwan people and to bolster Taiwan's ability to defend its democracy. Our commitment to these goals has never been stronger. Anybody who has spent time in Taiwan knows that this is a special place. What Taiwan has accomplished over the past 30 years is truly extraordinary. The aim of U.S. policy, therefore, is to ensure that Taiwan's people can continue along their chosen path, free from coercion. This is the mission of my colleagues at the American Institute in Taiwan, in both our Taipei and Kaohsiung offices. And they have the full support of all of us back in Washington. Our relationship with Taiwan is stable. Our relationship is secure. And uniquely, our relationship is grounded in U.S. law through the Taiwan Relations Act. When you examine what the United States looks for in a partner, Taiwan checks all the boxes. Democracy? Check. Market economy? Check. Shared values and interests? Check. Great food? Definitely check. As an aside, a couple of years ago, I brought some Western friends to Taiwan, and it was their first trip, and I brought them to a night market. And I actually succeeded in getting them to appreciate chou tofu. If that's not a sign that U.S.-Taiwan relations can overcome any barrier, I don't know what it is. Seriously, there are a number of policy areas that the U.S. is focusing on with Taiwan, and there are a number of concrete initiatives I expect will continue long into the future. Through the Global Cooperation and Training Framework, we're working together to solve challenges, global challenges, by tackling pandemic diseases, sharing our experiences in humanitarian assistance and disaster relief, bridging the digital divide, and promoting women's entrepreneurship and political participation, and of course, promoting democracy and human rights. These joint efforts enable Taiwan to contribute to global problem solving and raise Taiwan's international profile. Through the International Environmental Partnership, we're raising awareness together around the world about the importance of environmental health. We're also working closely with Taiwan to deepen our commercial relationship through the Trade and Investment Framework Agreement, or TIFA. Under the TIFA, we're advancing many of the same priorities outlined in AmCham's annual white paper. This includes transparent administrative procedures, strong protections for intellectual property, a predictable investment climate, and a multi-stakeholder approach to regulatory matters. The U.S. and Taiwan, for decades, have enjoyed a close economic cooperation on technology, including in electronics and semiconductors. But we're now working to bring the U.S.-Taiwan economic relationship into the digital age through increased digital economy and cybersecurity cooperation. At APEC, we're working together to advance an ambitious digital agenda. One notable area is the APEC Cross-Border Privacy Rule System, or CBPR. The CBPR protects consumer privacy and eases business compliance by providing voluntary standards for privacy protection that allow data to flow across the region. We welcome Taiwan's intent to join the CBPR system. That demonstrates this island's strong commitment to embracing the digital age responsibly and robustly. High-level visits from officials of the U.S. Small Business Administration last fall opened the door to more cooperation on small and medium-sized businesses, or enterprises, or SMEs. Our respective SMEs and startups make natural partners as we co-develop emerging technologies, such as the Internet of Things, biomedical devices, smart machinery, and artificial intelligence. I am particularly pleased that our emerging SME cooperation has put the promotion of women's entrepreneurship front and center. Promoting women's entrepreneurship, it's not only a social issue, it's smart economics. No economy can fully realize its potential if half its population's talents are not recognized. The United States and Taiwan enjoy an extremely close investment relationship. Taiwan sent the world's second largest delegation to last year's Select USA Summit, as Ken mentioned. And they sent the largest delegation to the Global Cities Teams Challenge for Smart Cities. We continue to work closely with Taiwan businesses and investors to build lasting bridges between our two economies. And that will be even easier now with the launch of Global Entry in Taiwan in November, a launch that coincidentally occurred on the 5th anniversary of Taiwan's entry into the Visa Waiver Program. The United States and Taiwan also cooperate on global security issues. Taiwan is a valued member of the global coalition to defeat ISIS, pulling its weight to beat back ISIS's campaign of terror. We also actively engaged on joint non-proliferation efforts, and Taiwan has taken significant action as part of the international maximum pressure campaign on North Korea. All of these cooperative efforts arise from one foundational commitment. The U.S. policy embedded in law to first strengthen ties with the Taiwan people, and second, to strengthen their ability to defend their hard-won democracy. You know, I've talked about various certainties this evening, but here's the key certainty. The U.S. commitment to Taiwan doesn't change from administration to administration, or from president to president. It doesn't change the rise or fall of the fortunes of other powers in the region. It doesn't change with the emergence of new challenges or new threats. Because our relationship isn't transactional. Instead, it is undergirded and animated by shared and enduring values. The United States has been, is, and always will be Taiwan's closest friend and partner. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Das Wong. Thank you, Kim Wong.